WNML, 99.1 FM, the sports animal. It's time to talk NFL draft, Brian.
Yeah, the mock drafts are going up on our website at sportsradio.WNML.com. 1.0 is up now, correct?
That is correct.
And there'll be revisions of that. When is the NFL draft?
2 weeks from tonight.
Really?
Arlington, Texas.
I thought it was in May. Didn't they move it to May a couple of years ago?
Location, Brian.
I just remember when Juwan James was drafted, we were at the SEC softball tournament when the draft happened. So
yeah, it was pushed back for a short period of time in May, and I think they realized enough already. Let's get to the draft.
Okay.
So that's why we've gotten to our mock drafts.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It's brought to you by Twin Peaks, the ultimate sports lodge you've been searching for. Your local source for sports on wall-to-wall TVs, the most scenic views in the market, everything on the fan favorite menu made from scratch. New Nashville hot chicken sandwich with a local Knoxville brew served at a frosted 29 degrees by beautiful Twin Peaks girl. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, scenic views. You guys will be there on draft night, which I just discovered is 2 weeks from tonight.
7 to 11. I'm actually really amped about this. I'm actually a guy who actually loves the NFL draft. Now, the lead up to it, whatever. People do their things. Things are going to get reshuffled. People will trade. But just the whole drama, like, will this guy be, will photos from his Instagram be released of him smoking a bong in a gas mask?
Things you never know until they do actually happen. But that's why we're going to have multiple mock drafts, because if one of those items of interest might pop up, you shuffle accordingly. And trades will probably happen between now and then. They've already occurred leading up to this point, so I'm sure they will again before the night of the draft.
What's some of the stuff that's happened, like pre-draft stuff to date that's gone on that influenced the mock drafts before we get into them?
Well, trying to read into the lies, because it is lying season when you lead up to the NFL draft, especially when you have quarterbacks that are projected to go at the top, and we have quarterbacks that are projected to go at the top, starting with the number 1 pick, the Cleveland Browns. But that and then the Jets-Colts trade, Tyler, was a big deal a few weeks ago when the Jets moved up to the number 3 spot.
They did. I personally believe as a Jets fan that they got fleeced, but if they think that the difference maker, that the franchise changer is one of these quarterbacks who right now, the popular bet in Vegas is that 5 will go. 5 quarterbacks will see their names called in the first round. Somebody feels like that maybe Mason Rudolph could be that number 6. Maybe they sneak into one of the 32 picks as well.
Who is the quarterback that is now projected to go first?
Well, if you go by the very popular Josh Ward mock draft, that would be Josh Allen, the quarterback from Wyoming. Arm talent, has size, has the stature. I think it's between, though, Allen and Sam Darnold. And personally, I've gone back and forth between what I think will happen, and I could change my mind between now and 2 weeks from now.
Whoever doesn't take one or the other in the first pick for Cleveland, I believe the Giants take it number 2. I actually think something's going to happen that hasn't happened since '99, and that is quarterbacks go 1, 2, and 3. Quick trivia question. Do you remember the 3 quarterbacks who went 99, 1, 2, and 3? The year after Peyton.
Tim Couch?
1.
Akili Smith?
3.
Donovan McNabb.
2. Look at that, ladies and
Hey!
gentlemen. Look at that.
That's why you come to Sports Radio WNML for the info.
Way to go, team.
Yeah.
I looked up Akili Smith.
Really good job.
The 97 quarterback draft was the Sports Fix at 6 question.
Yeah.
I was yelling out Akili Smith in my car over and over, and I was wrong. So I was like, what year was he drafted? 99, not 97. Remembered it was an odd year.
There you go.
Yeah, so spoiler alert, since I just said that, I have Allen going 1 to Cleveland. The Giants didn't scoop up Sam Darnold. And the biggest non-surprise of them all, the Jets move up to 3 because they have some infatuation with Josh Allen.
Yeah, and
I beg your pardon, Josh Rosen from UCLA.
I have Josh Allen going 1. I have the Giants right now taking Bradley Chubb at number 2, the defensive lineman from North Carolina State. But I still think there's a very good chance that they go quarterback. And I think they're also trying to trade the pick, or at least willing to listen to discussions about trading the pick and could do that. But I think a number of things could happen. I have Bradley Chubb from NC State there right now.
Which is the reason why the Jets jumped so early at the offer that Indy had on the table, because there's another quarterback there in the AFC East. Really, all 3 teams not named Tom Brady and the New England Patriots need a signal caller.
And Tom Brady and the New England Patriots need a quarterback because he's only under contract for 2 more years. And with what Robert Kraft said earlier this week, I don't think they're planning on him playing quarterback past 2 years from now.
So to that point, you're talking about a trade just to kind of put the dots together. If there's any team who is willing to call the New York Giants up and say, we saw what the Jets paid, here come the Buffalo Bills, they might do that.
Yeah, very well could happen, because I do have the Jets with the number 3 pick taking quarterback Sam Darnold from USC. I don't think there's any doubt that the Jets want a quarterback there at the 3 spot. So that 2 position is one that could change what happens with the draft. But of course, the Browns have all the control of how the dominoes would start to fall.
Why am I seeing these quarterbacks different than you guys and all the? And I mean, it almost makes me feel like I'm wrong, but normally I don't feel like I'm wrong because I'm me and I feel like I'm always right. So
I asked you this question 2 months ago, and you had no problem just snapping them off. So if I asked you right now, 5 quarterbacks, the 3 we've already named, and I throw you Baker Mayfield and Lamar Jackson, where do you put them in order?
I think honestly, I don't know that I would want Darnold. I don't know that the only quarterback, if I had to get one to start for me next year and play next year, would be Baker Mayfield. I think Sam Darnold has potential in the right system. Josh Allen is way too much of a question mark for me. I know he's got big talent, but what does that mean? I mean, Jake Locker had talent.
Yeah, and the idea of playing Josh Allen in 2018 in the NFL was terrifying.
Yeah, so I mean, like I don't know if you're the Browns if you go get a guy that has that much football to still learn, and he's had a low completion percentage at Wyoming. I don't know. That's just hard for. And then Rosen will get hurt, and he's not the kind of guy that I would want leading my franchise. So literally, the only guy that I would take if I had a stud starter, then I would take Lamar Jackson, and if I needed a quarterback, I'd take Baker Mayfield.
I hate to do the Erik Ainge Show groupthink, but I have to agree. I didn't see anything out of those 3 quarterbacks. They all have the talent, but watching game film. From a decision-making standpoint, a top 5 pick in the NFL draft, to me, is a guy who's ready to play right away. Now, those teams need quarterbacks. They've got to take somebody, but I don't think any of those guys is going to be successful being a first-year starter, being a starter as a rookie, even if it's the back half of their year. I go back to, I watched Baker Mayfield playing in the Big 12. The defenses aren't the best, but his decision-making with the football seems a little better. So, and then Lamar Jackson just makes plays working in a pro-style-ish offense.
Right, and I still, again, expect movement. Remember last year how much movement there was? The Chiefs going up to get Patrick Mahomes. The Texans made the jump to get Deshaun Watson. I think that we'll see something like that. So I think the conversation is going to change over the next couple weeks. But to move through the draft, I have Josh Rosen going 5th to the Denver Broncos. I have Baker Mayfield going 11th to the Miami Dolphins. I don't have Lamar Jackson yet but I do think he's going to be a first-round pick. At some point, if it doesn't happen, I have to make a trade in the mock draft because I'm trying to figure out where he goes. But I'm confident he's a first-round pick right now. But I think it's going to be movement with teams seeing what Eric just talked about. Hey, let's go get this guy, whether Lamar's playing right away or he waits his turn to come in and play. Baker, it depends. If he goes to the Miami Dolphins, I don't think he's starting right away. I think it's Ryan Tannehill, and then Baker were to get an opportunity. If Arizona makes a move to get a quarterback, you have coming in there Sam Bradford, Mike Glennon, so there is some experience that can start right away and then work one of those guys in. And if that happens, you could probably feel just as good about Baker's chances of being successful as one of these guys taken in the top 5.
All right, another segment with the NFL drafts coming up on the other side. This our mock drafts online at Sports Radio WNML, brought to you by Twin Peaks. At every Twin Peaks, you'll find wall-to-wall TV, scratch food, and the signature 29-degree beer served by the best-in-class Twin Peaks girls. Welcome to your new local spot for sports and scenic views. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, scenic views. More next on FM 99.1 Sports Radio WNML.
Draft right now, doing mock drafts. Again, thanks to Twin Peaks.
Absolutely. Twin Peaks is sponsoring our draft coverage this year. We'll have a draft show. These guys will be on draft night, and they're unveiling their mock drafts right now. They will go up on Sports Radio WNML shortly. Right now, mock drafts from Vince and Will are up online, and the ones from Tyler and Josh and Jimmy Himes, John Wilkerson, Brian Akins are all rolling with them here. I would have been copying and pasting mock draft from NFL.com. That's probably some sort of copyright violation, so I will not put on paper how dumb I now, you can clip and save the I don't think those quarterbacks will be as successful as the Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jacksons of the world. You can clip and save that because I'm digging in on that right now. So
I think those are fair opinions too.
It's just they could be successful NFL quarterbacks. I don't perceive them to be top 5 pick NFL quarterbacks. But if you need a quarterback and you're picking in the top 5, well, guess what? Mitch Trubisky was a top 10 pick last year in the same situation.
You know, and maybe I'm just biased to the Big 12, but just quickly on the spot.
Yeah.
Can you name to me the last Big 12 quarterback to succeed?
No. I
In
mean,
the NFL. Tannehill, A&M was already in the SEC when that happened.
if Sam Bradford
Dalton wasn't
is
TCU
healthy, maybe, but Sam Bradford's health plays into the evaluation of he's not a great NFL quarterback.
Yeah, and I do
just
think,
got signed.
yeah, I do
He's
think Bradford
succeed.
was going to be successful
Yeah.
if he hadn't had the injuries pop up. I think his talent, he was a number 1 overall pick. I think that was legitimate for him,
Vince Young.
but it hasn't happened very much.
And
Mitch
maybe it's
Young
not,
was successful for a short period, but yeah, you're exactly right.
maybe it's not fair because of the logo they wear on their jersey, but I see Baker Mayfield and I see Mason Rudolph, and I just go, take a number and get in line.
That's fair. Before you guys unveil the remainder of your mock drafts, let's get David's call. David, welcome to the Erik Ainge Show, talking NFL draft.
What's up, dude?
Well, first of all, to the start of your question, I wasn't all that surprised. They made the move, the Bears did, to get him where they did. That move surprised me a
Ryan
little bit.
Pace moving up one
Yeah.
spot and giving up a treasure trove of picks. That was the surprising part.
But at the time there was discussion, hey, could the Browns just go ahead and grab him with the number 1 pick
Right.
instead of taking Myles Garrett? So the Bears taking him was not that big of a surprise, I don't think. I thought he actually did okay and maybe better than I might have expected, considering he had to jump right in shortly after Mike Glennon started the year. They paid Glennon a ton of money, so Trubisky was going to be the guy. But also they dealt with attrition and injuries, or I don't know if attrition's right, but Alshon Jeffrey leaves the team, so there's a hit at wide receiver. Cam Meredith goes down for the season, so there's one of the receivers you're going to count on that you lost. So they're going to stack the box and try to take Jordan Howard out. So I thought he did pretty well considering what he was having to do and try to take over there. And then who does he compare to? It's kind of tough. He had started 1 year at UNC
Right.
as a full-time guy. Sam Darnold, we still haven't seen that much. He's a power conference guy, so I think you have to kind of compare there. I don't think there's an obvious comparison. It wouldn't be Lamar or Baker, and I don't think it's Josh Allen because he played at Wyoming.
I can't find one to connect the dots either. The only one that stands out is because Trubisky had an issue with not turning the football over at North Carolina, and Darnold, we saw that late. His second year at USC he has a fantastic Rose Bowl game against Penn State. Here's your Heisman Trophy winner, and then he can't stop giving it to the other team.
So maybe it's Darnold because you have the talent that's obviously there,
Right.
but you also have the yeah buts. But just about every quarterback comes with a yeah but.
Yeah.
That's why Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield aren't up as high as some of the other guys.
Rosen really hasn't played a full, complete season because he's been hurt. And I think one of the reasons why he's hurt is he spent the off seasons being hurt and not full-time in a strength and conditioning program. Mitch Trubisky definitely outpaced what I expected from him in his first year. David, we appreciate it. One question before you guys get into the actual mock drafts. Cleveland picking 1, obviously they're going to pick a quarterback. At least we presume they're going to pick a quarterback. I think one of the problems the Cleveland Browns have had is that they've constantly gone quarterback so high and they haven't built a team around a guy. If you guys are the Cleveland Browns, certainly they're projected to take one of the quarterbacks first, or at least get their quarterback of the future in this draft. Would either of you be tempted to take the tone that they did last year, because they picked Myles Garrett, their defense got better, build a team, and then get your guy?
I think this is the first year that Cleveland doesn't mess up the draft.
Okay.
I think they get their quarterback at 1. Number 4, I think they take Bradley Chubb across from Myles Garrett, and everyone's looking at that defensive line going, oh, mama. It's the AFC North. Guess what they pride themselves in Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore? Defense. Cleveland finally gets a defense that they can finally ante up and say, we can play too.
If Tyler's right, I like that for them, by the way.
Or they go Saquon Barkley, which I'm a big believer in Duke Johnson, so I think that he can be the future there. 3-down back, a guy who can catch out of the backfield. He showed it this year. So you don't have to go Saquon Barkley there. But to me, I don't think Cleveland can really Cleveland this. I mean, yeah, the quarterback can fall flat on their face, but I think that they'll have a solid number 4, whether at number 4 they take a running back in the future. I believe in Barkley, and I think we already know what Bradley Chubb can do.
Yeah, and I do have Barkley going number 4 to the Browns. So I have them taking a quarterback and a running back and trying to shore up that offense.
All right, let's run 1 through 10 for both of you guys. 1 through 10, then the Titans pick and the Cowboys picks. Those are, I'm selfishly in tune with what the Cowboys are. Josh, why don't you go first?
Yeah, starting with the top 10, I have the Browns taking quarterback Josh Allen, number 1 overall, with the from Wyoming. I have number 2, the Giants right now taking defensive end Bradley Chubb from North Carolina State. The Jets then taking quarterback Sam Darnold from USC. As I mentioned, the Browns taking Saquon Barkley. With the 5th pick, the Broncos, I have them taking quarterback Josh Rosen, although I think they could do a number of different things, and they just brought in Case Keenum. You have the Colts with the number 6 pick. I have Quentin Nelson, who could be the best player in this draft, a guard from Notre Dame. The Buccaneers taking safety Derwin James, maybe the best athlete in this draft, and a guy that injuries have not allowed him to show all that he can do in college. The Bears with the 8th pick taking cornerback Denzel Ward, a last name that you can trust, from Ohio State. With the 9th pick, I have the 49ers taking safety Minkah Fitzpatrick from Alabama. And the Oakland Raiders with the 10th pick taking linebacker Roquan Smith from Georgia.
Ooh, I'd like our Raiders to get Roquan Smith.
Yes.
Titans pick in the back half of the first round.
Yeah, the Titans, I have them taking linebacker Rashaan Evans from Alabama. And the Cowboys, I have them taking defensive tackle Jerron Payne from Bama.
I'll take that. Tyler.
Quickly, quarterbacks go 3, Allen, Darnold, Rosen, Bradley Chubb. 4 to the Browns. Give me Baker Mayfield to the Broncos at 5. Indianapolis Colts, they get to trade back, still get Saquon Barkley. Minkah Fitzpatrick goes 7 to the Buccaneers. They've talked about Vic Fangio as he needs a linebacker. He needs somebody fast, and that's where they think they find Jermaine Edmonds out of Tech at 8. Give me Denzel Ward at 9. And you know what? I agree. Roquan Smith ends up going there with Khalil Mack at the linebacker position. 10 to the Raiders. The Titans, they get a SEC guy. I have them taking Jerron Payne at defensive tackle, 24. And 6 quarterbacks going in, actually, in the first round.
Nice.
I'll take the over, Vegas. Give me money.
I have some quarterback stuff that I think is pretty interesting, some stat stuff when we get back.
Let's roll with that. NFL draft, mock draft coverage brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, same views. The best place for all things hoops as well. Get to your Knoxville Twin Peaks location for all the NBA playoff action. NHL playoffs as well. Starts tonight. NBA regular season's done. Their playoffs are on the way. Guys, thanks. Your mock drafts will go up on sportsradio.WNML.com as soon as Vince works his website magic.
Thanks boys.
For the Erik Ainge Show next, FM 99.1 Sports Radio.
You're not welcome, Tyler.
WNML.
You're not welcome.